All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I want to make one more quick one really, but there's a bunch of tickers I want to look at. All right, I'm going to do Coinbase and HUT as the first chapter. I'm going to do Marathon and Riot as the next chapter. And then there's like 3 or 4 of the little smaller miners. I don't want to call them little, but smaller miners that I do want to cover. BTBT, HUT, any and WULF if I've got the time for all of them, all right? But big news again, and actually the second time already, but Trump has once again appointed, I don't know the exact title and I do apologize, but Trump has now made 2 appointments for very high levels in his cabinet, and both of them are very pro crypto. And there's been a lot of deregulation talk in general. Trump's talked about like breaking down governments, this and that, and rules, this and that. So just it just feeds into all this deregulation that's just been floating around his expected election outcome. You know what I mean? So I don't actually know if it's even happened yet or not, but Bitcoin might be close to 100K, not quite just yet. RSI is not that bad. It's out of 64 and it did reset, right? It was as high as 84 right there, 86 right there again. Bitcoin, just in general, to me, is like the NASDAQ, right? It is an index in its own way. This shouldn't go much higher than 80. It's a little bit more textbook with the RSI. So yeah, going from 80 down to a very healthy, what, 50? Yeah, 58. Oh man, that's beautiful right there. I wish I saw volume on this thing, but it is what it is. But look, you can see Bitcoin never even actually uses the 8 moving average, a couple wicks, right? But holding the 8 looks like it's ready to go. If we can break that line right there, obviously we need the day to close, right? The regular hour candle hasn't closed yet. But if we close today's daily candle over 97,500, it feels like tomorrow will finish the job, especially given how low the RSI is, right? So feeling how good Bitcoin is and a little bit of how good NASDAQ is. Let me just show it real quick. In a lot of ways, these are tech stocks, right? And man, NASDAQ is now gapping up and going, right? Obviously, this is QQQ. It's just a little easier to type than the NASDAQ ticker. But yeah, it's the exact same thing. Still a very healthy 63. Was that not the same number as Bitcoin as well? 64, right? So both of what I consider the indices for the tickers that we're about to look at are pretty much, I'm going to say it one more time, pretty much primed to keep going, right? So really, that gives me a lot of confidence and backing across the sector. At this point, it's just a matter of, what you think is the bullish of the bullish, right? So yeah, excited for this one. But before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I'm so grateful for it, all right? So the first chapter right here is going to be both Coinbase and Hood. And I've really liked keeping these two together because really, there's a hair in my tongue. That was embarrassing. Sorry about that. There's more to these two than just crypto. They're also an institution. They're a bank. They are literally, you can see it if you can read that. It is a financial service sector, right? They are as much a bank in my eyes as Bank of America, as Wells Fargo, right? Hey, they're not really dealing in dollars and gold, but they're dealing in a currency and they are holding it for a lot of people, right? And really the same thing could be said about Hood. Plus the fact that it actually is a stock exchange. Maybe maybe Coinbase is too. I really don't know well, right? But Robinhood really adds to that because yeah, you can put cash in and just do regular stocks. You can do crypto things in there, right? So I really love both. As much as I love them as a crypto play, man, those are just sound fundamental Dow Jones banks to me. And oh, there's no such thing as safe in this crazy stock market, but I think there's a little extra safety there because it has a little bit of a, I'm just a brick and mortar fundamental bank at the end of the day, right? And I've got a whole mess of assets, the money that my people are giving me in the bank, right? So as long as they don't do shady things with it, like that one thing did, FRX, FTX, whatever it was, right? But again, that's a different tangent and different assumptions, right? So that said, look, beautiful things with coin right now. And look, beautiful things with hood right now. Interesting doji right here. And you know I love talking about dojis a lot, right? And I think this got the interesting doji because the RSI is just a little higher. I think that coin was able to get a prettier, a fuller, a stronger candle, really because it's just only a 62 RSI. There's still plenty of room between here and that 80 that I normally get worried on, right? You can see that the volume's basically been living on the 50 moving average, not really as much as I'd want it to be, but hey, we kind of just rebroke all the moving averages. And I say rebroke because, man, I still remember it down here for sure. And that was the original break not that long ago. But yeah, there was a quick little moment where we slipped below all five of them. But hey, it didn't take much longer to retest, and go, right? So not quite broken all and flown just yet, but it seems like it's broken all, trying to take off, and probably getting ready to fly right here, all right? What I really like, and you can see it, we're now actually playing in some IPO like levels, right? First off, just looking at the weekly, red, 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 green, 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 red, red, red. A lot of big things happened when this thing broke that 266 line. Obviously, that was a couple weeks away, and shame on me for not looking at that, right? But man, beautiful little weekly signal right here, actually. But at this point, over this line, I'm seeing the exact same thing. Red, 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 green, 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 red, red, red. I really, really am liking the channel that we're at. Let me actually zoom into the daily and see if we can maybe get the next line drawn a little better. Man, there are not too many lines. And really, I'm using this candle. I think at this point, I'm just going to take 50% of this guy. That's our next line. I think 333, 334 is probably next. It's not a big percent from here, but if we can break that 333, basically 334 line, I do believe this thing is going to push into all-time highs. Look, I'm going to make that my golden line. I clearly see, I do, right? That is obviously not all-time highs. We have that thing right there. It's actually ran as high as almost 400. Past 400. Look at that. Almost 430 is the obvious all-time high line. But if you can break that right there, oh man, real good things will happen. Let me see. What is that number right there? I'll do this 340. I'll take the top of the candle instead of half. I do think that 333 is definitely worth putting in your back pocket. I know it looks like we're right there, but that might add just a little random difficulty. But yeah, this looks like it should be heading to 340. If it breaks 340, my. Again, RSI looks very healthy. MACD, look at the MACD, right? It's been trying to, and each of the tries is getting better. This one is now a little bit higher than the last try, which was higher, right? It is trying to go positive and take off. And again, I'm liking what I'm seeing in terms of a healthy reset and a healthy go on top of that Bitcoin and Nasdaq push, right? Basically the same thoughts on hood. Okay, as I zoom out and I zoom out, it's actually doing that exact same IPO line test, right? We are basically coming into these next really important candles. Let me draw this line right here. Look at that. That's about half of that right there. Looks like it's about the tops and bottoms of most that line. I think hood is heading to 42 bucks. If it can break 42, man, there's a real good shot that it'll go well past 50. I don't really, let me just draw that line. I guess I'll draw that line for now. I'll take that one first. We'll call it 40. I don't even think that 48 is going to. Let's just draw the right line. That's the next line up. Don't think about 54 just yet. That 42 will be difficult. I think that 50% candle, especially since we have a good little horizontal there before that hard gap down, I think that's going to be a more difficult line than it looks like. But yeah, if we can break that line, there's a lot of good happening right behind it. A little bit higher of an RSI for sure. And like I said, I think that's why we saw this doji instead of a stronger candle. Personally, I really like the fact that not Cont, right there. I like that NASDAQ is looking really good. I like that the S&P is looking really good. And I like the fact that the Dow Jones is actually still looking really good. Maybe not as pretty gap up wise. That one actually kind of started a little earlier. But hey, you go away from the 8, you come to the 8, you bounce back up and you go, right? So again, I said it on the first part. Robinhood is like a bank. So as long as Dow Jones is doing good and maybe NASDAQ isn't, it can compensate a little bit. When both are good, oh yeah, that's awesome. Add the fact that Bitcoin is looking even nicer. Again, these are looking like they're hungry to push. Do I have a line above? Did I say all that? I do have a line above. That's right. We talked about the 42 and the 54. Can you tell I'm a little excited? I'm forgetting this stuff I just said a minute ago. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. The next tranche is going to be these two, Marathon and Riot. All right. Really quickly, please, if you can subscribe, if you can share. Oh, it does wonders with these algorithms. All right. Let me see what Riot looks like. I'll be honest, I don't know what that chart looks like. Okay, cool. There, it is the same thought. So I honestly just put these two together because I feel like they're generally connected. People kind of talk about both of them together. Really, I am seeing the exact same thing on the charts as well. So we're on Riot right now, and you can see trying to get over, trying to, and doing really nicely to hold. I'm seeing the 50 moving average golden cross over the 20. It looks like we are trying to get over, and really it looks like at this point we are trying to reattempt that basically $16 line, right? 15.97. When we looked at Marathon, I know it was brief, but I know I saw the exact same thing. Yeah, look at it, trying to, not bad, but couldn't confirm and falls back. But lo and behold, it looks like it's able to kind of recapture and go, right? They both have real nice RSIs. That one's only a 60 on Marathon. That's only a 52 on Riot. And arguably, you can say Riot looks a little better. I did like this candle today. The volume's been a little disappointing on Riot. What about Marathon? Marathon's had better volume. I will say that. Marathon's had a better ability to get over the 50-day average line. So volume, I will, look, right? I'm trying to guess which one's the bullish outlier. I think between these two, I would probably say Riot. I think I like the fact that Riot actually, like, look, you can see it. This actually didn't close over the 8 moving average, right? It got really close, but hey, it's actually still under that line, right? Riot, I'm seeing it over the 8 and the 20. Obviously, I needed to confirm. It's just still a single candle, but I'm at least seeing a better attempt. I'm seeing the really low RSI at 50. I just wish that the volume was a little bit better, right? Obviously, this one's only 21. I think Marathon was in the 60s, so they're close. They are really close, but I think I'd give the edge to Riot. So on the technical side, like I said, I think there's more things saying that this thing wants to go back up to basically 16. I would say I'm willing to let this go as low as that. Oh, that's actually what we wick today too. All right, I'll take it. I'll call it here. As long as this is over $11.75, this being Riot, as long as Riot's over $11.75, I think I would very much call it bullish. Make me believe that this thing is ready to go to 16 really is the goal, right? Marathon definitely needs to close right here tomorrow. I think we need at least 26.40, give or take. If it can get over that, my next line is at 30. Red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, red, red. Like, this is a very fast channel. I'm really expecting it to actually go up to the 30 as long as tomorrow confirms, all right? I think the weeklies are going to be the tight thing. And yeah, you can see it, right? The dailies were getting close. That also means the weeklies are getting close, right? So good big candle over all 5 moving average for Marathon. Just quite hasn't confirmed yet. Riot, Riot's still just a little bit Interesting to see the weekly. Marathon has the better weekly chart actually because it's closer to getting overall five moving averages. Um, I think it's a real close 50-50 between the two, actually, on which I would call the bullish outlier. Nonetheless, both look pretty nice, actually. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. So the last ones, really, they are in no order, but these are basically and I'm using the word with love and all due respect, these are what I would consider the smaller miners, right? Listen, smaller generally means more risk, more reward. When the indices are good, and the Bitcoin, juggernaut that all of these kind of live and die by is also good. Oh man, there's no such thing as safe, but it maybe becomes a little bit more easy to swallow the risk that you normally would otherwise be put off by. And I think I said too many words to say that, but hopefully you get what I'm saying, all right? Real quick, if you can please subscribe, if you can share, oh, it does wonders with these algorithms, all right? BTBT, green over red on the MACD, green over red on the RSI, beautiful 53. We're pretty much living over the 50-day average line on the volume, right? HUT, overall five moving averages, not quite the same green over red that I wanted, but hey, still a very healthy RSI. It's still a positive MACD, and hey, volume's pretty much been living on that line, right? WULF, overall five moving averages, we at least have green over red on the RSI. It looks like the MACD will probably do it tomorrow. 56 is a very healthy number. The only thing here probably missing is volume. Doing well overall five moving averages tends to bring volume, right? Any overall five moving averages, I wish the green over red was a little better, but hey, that's a beautiful RSI. This is definitely the lowest of the volume, right? This is barely able to get over a million, but across these four, it was the same exact technical readings, right? These are all very much just, look, technology sector, right? NASDAQ pushing all-time high is good for these, right? Bitcoin getting hungry for over 100K is even better. Add the combination of both, and man, it's a beautiful thing, right? All of a sudden, it feels like sector strength is doing pretty well, right? So let me go back to the front and draw some lines and some targets because I don't think they all had them. Oh my goodness, BTBT. Somewhere there looks next. Look at that, bottom of that, top of that. I like that. I think that's a good line. Oh, look at that, bottom of those, bottom. Yeah, that's a good line. It actually seems like 780 might be next here. Maybe this will slow us down around 6, but hey, going from 5 to 6 is a beautiful 20% move. 20% move right there, right? So BTBT looking good. Look, it's bullish as long as it can hold $4.36, okay? What was the next one? HUT. This one I would say I'm bullish as long as it holds that. Bottom of that, almost 50% of that. It's a bad fall. That's a tough fall. And obviously I would want the 20 moving average to also do some good things. But I can see this going as low as 23.30 and still actually being bullish. That said, really the expectation is for this thing to break, what's this number? Break 28.50 tomorrow. If you can break 28.50, this thing is on the way to 32 next. That's my expectation for HUT. WULF. WULF was the next one. WULF just has to get over this 825 line. That's a beautiful candle right there, by the way, too. Get over 8. Oh man, get over 825. You're probably heading to 11 next. Yeah, it looks like there's a top and bottom there, a bottom there, a bottom there. Let me just zoom in to see if that's correct. Yeah, that's a pretty good drawing right there. I do things zoomed out so much. I'm surprised I don't get more comments and ask me to not do that. But yeah, it's just how I do it, and I apologize if it's tough to see it. But yeah, I don't assume we're going to 1150, right? That's a difficult little line right there. But man, I'm liking everything around us. It does seem like that 11 is going to be next. I don't know if I said it or not. Let's use that line. It can fall all the way to, I'm not going to draw the line, but it can fall all the way to 1110. Sorry, it can fall to 710, excuse me, and still be bullish. Break at 825, and I think 11's next. You can see 11 is what's actually in my head right now as I'm looking at this. And then is any the last one? I think any is the last one. No, I can't use that as my next line, can I? No, no, there's some lines to be drawn. Let's draw that right there. Looks like it's the bottom of that. Looks like it's the bottom of that. Looks like we almost peaked that. I would say 195 and then, yeah, and then 280 would be the next lines. I'm very bullish on this thing. Really, I'm very bullish as low as 118. I think the better number to use, though, would be 130. Hopefully, this doesn't fall anywhere lower than 130. Again, the only concern with any is this is the only one that's significantly lower on the volume, right? When you look at BTBT, this thing's pushing 20 million. When we looked at WULF, this thing's pushing 20 million. When we looked at HUT, this thing's at least at 8 million. Hey, it's a decent number. Sorry, I forgot which one, is significantly lower, right? It's more than 90% lower than the lowest of those three, right? So volume is king, volume is queen for the ladies out there. I like the technicals and the indices and the Bitcoin around it more. So, hey, maybe those can help overshadow that, right? So, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Even if you disagree, oh, I appreciate you so, so much.